Hey, how you doing? Guillermo here. Today I am getting started on my video series of preparation for hiking the Continental Divide Trail, the CDT, in the spring, hopefully, of 2026. I'll be hiking with my partner, Mr. Pena, who will introduce in other videos. But today I'm going to be talking about the gear, or at least the beginning of putting together the gear, and most importantly going to be focusing on base weight. And you'll have to pardon me for being a little bit scruffy and rumpled. I just got off the trail, and but I wanted to get right to this while it's so beautiful outside. I like working outside. I like working outside, so I want to get to this video right now while I'm thinking about it. So let's get started. Base weight is something that almost every video blogger that's doing a hike talks about as a lead-in to all their gear. And there's a lot of back and forth and differences in base weight. Some people are trying to be really ultralight and get it down as little as possible. I am somewhere in the middle. I don't think I'm an ultralighter. I'll be carrying, my base weight will be about 11 pounds. Still pretty light, but not the lightest, I don't think. I haven't done a lot of research on it, but I think I've come up with a good plan. I've got a good base weight going. Here it is, my base. About 11 pounds, as I said. This is a Balco brand, B-O-L-C-O. It's a first base, which I figured is the smart way to go. Here's why. First base, almost everybody has to get to it, unlike second and third. First base has been stepped on, pounded a lot. I think probably a little bit of its stuffing has been knocked out. So it could be a couple ounces less when it's used as opposed to buying it new. I got this at REI at one of their sales. They sell used gear, and it's something that if you're a hiker or a backpacker, you should look into that. Getting used gear can save you a lot of money and sometimes a little weight. This didn't cost me too much. It's, as I said, a Balco brand. It's got the stem still attached to it. I suppose you could cut this off and save yourself a little weight, but that stem is very useful for if you need to put it in the ground to keep it stable. Like sometimes I'll be using this to sit on, and I can take my auger on the trail and drill a hole and then put that in so that it doesn't wobble around or slip while I'm trying to sit on it. I think I'll keep the stem, a little extra weight, but I think it's worth it to me. So there you go, pretty simple concept. You get your base, you've got whatever weight you've chosen, goes in your pack, you've got your base weight. Pretty simple, base weight. Oh, something I want to give you a little tip on right now while I'm thinking about it. If someone tries to sell you home plate instead of the base, be warned, home plates don't count. They're a plate and not a base. Now, in coming videos, I'll be talking about lots of the other gear. I'm going to kind of break it down. A lot of the video bloggers that you see out there showing you all their gear sort of run through everything together. They just have it all laid out and they just hold it up and they tell you what it is, what brand and what weight and all that kind of stuff, and do it all in one video. I'm going to break it down a little bit. I do have a few items here that we'll be talking about in more detail as we go along, like the chainsaw. We'll be taking that along. There are a lot of blowdowns along the CDT. I noticed that in videos from this past season, that the trail in a lot of areas is blocked with trees that have fallen, and sometimes there are many in a row, and you got to climb over them or you got to go under them, and it's really kind of a hassle. So by taking the chainsaw along, we'll just rev it up and we'll just cut those things right out of the way, and it will be a nice thing for future hikers too. I think that's pretty nice. We'll be taking the guitar along. Mr. Pena does play guitar, which is going to be really nice around the campfire at night while we're having our pizza and tacos and blender drinks. So I'll probably carry that. It's a little lighter. Coffee pot, of course. Water bottles, we'll talk about the differences in water bottles that a lot of hikers like to think about. I prefer glass, a little cleaner, a little less microplastics into the world, all that kind of stuff. But you know, a lot of basic gear that we'll be talking about in the future videos. Oh, I also wanted to mention the fact that Mr. Pena and I will be continuing our cross-country bocce ball tournament. So on the CDT, we're planning to set a world record of the world's longest continuous cross-country bocce tournament. Mr. Pena and I compete quite often at this, and there will be a future video about bocce here on the property so that you can get an idea of what happens during cross-country bocce and what it's all about. So look forward to that. And of course, I think Mr. Pena will carry these. He's a much more muscular guy, big broad shoulders. He can carry a little bit more weight. So he'll be carrying our balls. And of course, I'll also be talking about clothing. That's a big issue. Both Mr. Pena and I are debating a lot about what to carry, how much to carry in clothing for all the different conditions that we're going to be encountering. Will be times in the desert where it'll be very hot. There'll be times in the upper reaches of the mountains where it'll be very cold. There'll be a lot of wind. Today, I mentioned that I went hiking, and today was a pretty mild day. I didn't need a puffy jacket. I dressed pretty casually today, as you can see, but a lot of clothing decisions to be made for such a long, momentous hike of, you know, up to maybe 3,000 miles over 4.5 to 5 months. So clothing, very big deal. Be a good video coming forward on that. Let's talk about chainsaw. Oh, this is the CDT video? Okay.